Hello engineers. So in this video we are going to discuss event bubbling. So what is bubbling? Suppose a bubble is created inside water, then it will come up to the top. It will automatically float up to the top level, right? Similarly, in nested elements, when we are triggering any event, then it will bubble up to top level. Okay, let us understand with programming, with coding, because practical explanation are good explanations to understand, right? So here I have created a simple HTML nested div. I have created outer div, inside that an inner div, and inside that another inner div. Okay, outer, inner one, inner two. Okay, then three different event listeners I have added to all three elements. Okay, to outer element simply console.log, and second one again console.log, but it is saying called inner one, and third one console.log called inner two. Okay, this is a simple example. Instead of this console log, you can add your statements that you want to execute when that event is triggering, right? Now let us run the program and click on outer. So it is displaying called outer. Excellent. Now let us clear the console again and click on inner one. Now it is displaying called inner one and then its parent called outer. Okay, means both the events triggered. We are clicking on inner one, but due to bubbling it is also called this event, right? Now let us click on inner two. So it is calling inner two, inner one, then outer, as well as it will bubble that events to document also. Okay, let us check that. So create another event listener for document. So document dot add event listener and console.log called document. Okay, now let us run this. Clear the console, click on inner two. So see, inner two, inner one, outer, and document, right? So all four events triggered due to bubbling. Okay, but suppose we don't need this. When we are clicking on inner two, suppose we want to execute a specific function. When we are clicking on inner one, we want to execute a specific function, and when outer we are clicking on outer, we want to execute a specific function. For example, suppose clicking on inner two should display called inner two, clicking on inner one should display called inner one, and clicking on outer should display called outer. Okay, we want to stop this bubbling. So how to do this? Let us discuss a simplest method. Okay, we will pass event here, and let us console log here event dot target dot id. So in this case, see, we have given different IDs to different elements. Okay, to outer element I have given outer ID, to inner elements inner one ID, and to inner two element inner two ID, right? Now let us print that ID from here. Okay, run this program again, clear the console, click on outer. So see, called outer and the ID is outer, right? Clear the console again, click on inner one. Sorry, here I have to call these events. Yes. Now click on inner one. Uncaught reference error is not defined. Where it is not defined. e.target.id, e.target.id. It is line number 58. Okay, let us run this again. Yes, click on inner one. So see, ID is inner one, and called inner 1. Then it bubbled and called outer, but still the id is inner 1. Okay, now let us clear again. Click on inner 2. So it bubbled up to outer, but id is still inner 2. Okay, so by the help of this event.target.id, we will check that id, and based on that we will execute the statements. If that id is not as per our desired, so we will not call these statements. Okay, how to do that? With simple if statement. So if e.target.id equal outer, then only we will call these statements, right? Now same thing we will use for this one also. If e.target.id is inner 1, then only it will print inner 1. Similarly, in this case, when e.target.id is inner 2, then only it will print this console statement. As it is a single line, so curly brace is not required, but if you want to use more than one line, then you have to use curly brace, and within the curly brace you write all the statements that you want to execute when this event is triggered. Okay, now let us run this again and clear the console. Click on outer, so it is displaying called outer. Okay, click on inner 1, called inner 1. Click on inner 2, so called inner 2. Means if we are clicking inner 2, then only these statements will be executed. Okay, so based on that element to which we are clicking, we are triggering event. Okay, so in this way we can solve our problem that occurred due to event bubbling. Okay, thank you.